We were by the lake, that strange stillness settling over the water just before dusk, the kind that feels like the world is holding its breath. A hush that doesn't demand anything from you. You just exist within it. They were popping open champagne, pouring it into those cheap plastic flutes you get from a gas station. Her cousin had brought them. White stems, gold foil rims that peel if you hold them for more than a minute. I remember thinking, how appropriate. She said it with a smile, not even glancing my way, just watching the bubbles float upward. Her ring caught the fading light, like it still held meaning. "Oh, by the way, I sold your cabin," she said lightly. "My boyfriend needed the money." Her cousin snorted. "He'll get over it." I smiled too, barely. Just a faint curl at the edge of my mouth. The kind of expression you give a kid caught drawing on the wall. Not because it's amusing, but because the foolishness is almost poetic. "That's funny," I replied, "because I just sold something too." And just like that, the atmosphere shifted. You could feel it. The tension snapping tight. That sharp, invisible pause. Their glasses stayed suspended in the air, untouched. Her cousin blinked first. Here's the thing about betrayal. It rarely comes out of nowhere. The final act is clean, sure, but the bruises start forming long before the blow lands. You just refuse to see them. The cabin wasn't just a cabin. My grandfather built it himself, board by board, floor by floor, each piece placed like a prayer. In the winter, I used to trace my fingers along the windowsills, feeling the cold to a glass, wondering who else had stood there before me. My father, his brother, quiet men, the kind who don't explain, just do. It came to me on my 35th birthday. A letter and a key. No grand gesture, just a single line in my father's will. He'll know what to do with it. I thought she loved it. We spent weekends up there, long, slow ones. She once said the silence made her feel safe. I watched her figure out how to use the old percolator, dance barefoot on the porch, humming songs from her childhood. I remember thinking, this is it. This is how you build a life. But love, I've come to realize, isn't the same as loyalty. The two can wear the same mask for years before you finally see the difference. It started small. She stopped asking to go, said it was too far, too cold, too quiet. Then she began renting it out behind my back. Once, I showed up unannounced and found a couple from Chicago in our bed. When I told her, she laughed, said we could use the extra income. The signs were all there. I just didn't want to read them. And then there was the cousin, always hanging around, always laughing too loudly, drinking too much, touching her too long. The type who treats secrets like poker chips. I knew what kind of person she was. What I didn't know yet was him, the boyfriend. I never learned his name. Still don't. Doesn't really matter. What matters is what he cost her. The day before the trip, I got a call from the county office. They asked if I had meant to transfer ownership of the cabin. I said no. They sent over the documents. Her signature, clumsy and mismatched. The kind of betrayal that doesn't even bother being careful. That's what cut deepest, not the act, but the carelessness. Like they never really feared me at all. I didn't say anything. Just booked the cabin one last time under a different name. Packed a bag. Drove up early. Everything was just as I remembered, except the silence. It wasn't gentle anymore. It was precise, like a scalpel. I took what mattered. Old photographs, my grandfather's toolbox, the single nail on the wall where his rifle used to hang. I left the bed unmade. Wanted them to know someone had been there. Then I sold it, not to just anyone, but to a developer. One of those fleece vests, straight-talking types who thinks an acreage in return on investment. He walked the land once, made a cash offer, and said the whole place would be flattened by fall. I shook his hand. So, when she raised her glass that night, flashing her smile like a blade and casually dropping the news like it was some kind of punchline between friends, I smiled too. When her cousin tried to laugh, but it came out too sharp, too thin, I said nothing. Their expressions shifted. First confusion, then slower realization. She asked what I meant. I didn't reply. She asked again. But that was the thing. I didn't need to speak. The silence answered for me. We drove home the next day in near total quiet. She tried to play a podcast. I turned it off. The hum of the engine was enough. The moment we got back, she called the county office. I know, because I heard her shouting about fraud. They told her it wasn't. My name had always been on the deed. Her boyfriend tried to call, left a voicemail. Just breathing, then a sigh. I deleted it. The cousin hasn't shown up since. Sometimes I think about that porch. The way the floorboards used to creak under our feet. The way her laughter used to sound, before I realized it was never meant for me. People imagine revenge as loud, explosive, yelling, smashing things, storming out victorious. But the best kind? It's quiet, surgical. It leaves a hole where something once was and lets them live with it. That cabin meant something to me. But so does peace. And peace, I've found, is expensive. But it's worth every damn cent.